welcome to our next Facebook Live here at the Toronto Zoo. I'm Kim, and here at the zoo our mission is to connect people, animals, and conservation science to fight extinction. And I'm so excited to welcome you guys to our Lion Road. Here at the Toronto Zoo, our Lion Road consists of our African lions, our wildebeest, our ostrich, our porcupines, and our hyenas. But today we are focusing on lions, and I'm so excited. We're going to get started, and we are going to start off with an emergency recall. Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with what that is. Most of our animals here around the zoo do have a recall, and basically that's like a sound, a noise, anything that will trigger an animal to realize that it's time to come on inside and get some snacks or to move around wherever the keepers might need them to move. However, an emergency recall, in particular with dangerous animals, is really, really important. Here with our African lions, they are big cats, and it is very difficult. If you guys have cats at home, you know you can't really force a cat to do anything, and that includes our African lions here. So we've been working really, really hard for about the past year and a half to 2 years on getting their emergency recall down pat. Now, if you guys want to come on with me, we're going to go down the side of our lion house here, and that's this great big building beside me. And with an emergency recall, for a lion, instead of it just being a dinging bell that just signifies, okay, time to come inside, and they kind of meander down, their emergency recall is a very specific noise, and they know that if they come in fast, like within 30 seconds, they are going to get an amazing snack, and that is a great tool for us to use just in case anything ever happened. We need to get the lions off exhibit quickly. So we're going to try and do the emergency recall. It's going to be probably fairly quick because the lions do know we're here. It's pretty quiet here around the zoo, so yeah, they're all waiting for us, but that's okay. That's going to be a great example of how fast they can be. So, if you guys want to follow me, we have some really yummy snacks. This is a really high reinforcement and high value item for our lions here. It's actually like steak strips. They really enjoy them. So that's what the girls are going to be getting. And then Fintan, he's a special boy who really likes Adidas cologne, so he's getting that. That's his really high reinforcement item that we only save for emergency recall. So let's see what we can do. Oh, already waiting. That's okay. So basically I'm gonna head down there, shake our little emergency recall, bring these guys in lickety split, separate them off, and they're gonna get rewarded. So let's try it. So we're either going to get Makali or we're going to get Fintan into the first pen. Perfect. Good girl. And she's going to get her reinforcement. Good job, girl. Good girl. Hi, Fintan. Well done, bud. We're going to lock him in quickly next. And Fintan, I did spray some good smells on his ball there, his boomer ball, but he hasn't found it yet. So we're going to give him some extras. Oh, good smells. He's going to rub on that. And of course, lemon. Good girl. Awesome job. Super fast. I didn't record the actual speed, but we've got these guys down to eating or coming in off exhibit within about 30 seconds, which is pretty awesome. So if we ever do have an emergency that we need to get these guys out and back into the house, we can do that quickly. So I'm just gonna lock this all up because the next thing that we're gonna do is also very, very fun. But I have to make sure that we're safely locked away because I'm gonna have another one of my coworkers go out on exhibit and set up some snacks for the lions while we do a training session with that handsome guy right there, Fintan.
Hi, Finn.
Good job, girl. You did great. You did so good. Want some extra snacks? Good Good job, Bubba. Good job, Bubba. Do you want a snack too? Good boy. Good boy. Got it. And another big one for Makali. You did so good, girl. So good. Come on down. Awesome. Okay. So that was an emergency recall. Good job, guys. So while one of my coworkers actually sets up the exhibit, we're actually going to try and bring Mr. Fintan inside. So I don't know if you guys have had an opportunity to actually go into the Lion House. One of our past coworkers, Julie, actually does on the Lion Awareness Weekend, and for the past couple years, people have been able to go into the house. So it is a really, really cool setup in here. So if you guys want to come on inside, pop on the lights. Now, yeah, this is it. I can show you guys exactly what we feed our lions here on a regular basis before we actually bring Fintan inside. This is our kitchen. And this is going to be Fintan's dinner. So the Toronto Zoo actually formulates our own meat diet, which is really, really cool for our carnivores. So this is the feline variety, and we actually sell this stuff to other zoos all over North America, and all the proceeds come back to the Toronto Zoo for nutritional research, which is also very, very cool. But it's formulated, has extra vitamins and minerals in there to make sure these guys have a really good, well-balanced diet. Okay, so I've got some more snacks here. We are going to bring in Mr. Fintan into the house. Now, he was in the far yard, so you can see that this house is separated into different pens, different yard doors. So I have to actually bring Fintan in through that far yard door. And it is really, really cool the way that this is set up. It's a really bright and open space. There's also mirrors everywhere, so we can always see all of the different areas, and it's really, really easy for us to actually see what locks are open, which ones are closed. And also when we leave, you guys can check out the panel that we have, because that is also a really cool technologically savvy way of seeing which panels are actually, or which doors are open and which ones aren't. So, because lions are big and very, very strong animals, all of our doors are counterweighted. So these counterweights help us to open and shut doors, but they're strong enough that a lion can't open or shut the door without us. So you can take some video. I've just got to grab my tongs that are outside. Hi, buddy. You're a good boy.
So you can see in all of these pens as well, like Kim was saying there, we do have a door in each one of these pens. Now those doors go out to heated yards that we saw when we were walking around there. This pen in particular is for Finn. Now he is the leader of the pride, so he is in the first pen here, and we always feed him first. We make sure to feed them in the order of their hierarchy in their pride, so we don't cause any aggression. Now Kim's back, she's got her tools there, that's going to allow her to feed Fintan safely, so go ahead.
Awesome. Okay, so you have to make sure that Finn follows me into this last pen here. Come on, monkey. Good job. I can close him in. He's very comfortable with it. I'm going to open up one of our shoe doors. Now, this is a really cool shoe system that we have here in the Lion House. All of our cats are trained to walk through the shoe. This shoe can be used for medical procedures.
today?
Oh, but he's still
No paparazzi, but he's pretty happy with how he smells.
Yeah.
So
So this pen smells like girls. So Fintan he enjoys that. So when he's done sniffing the yummy smelling pen, I'm gonna ask him to come back. I'm gonna be using my whistle as the bridge, basically bridging the reward and the behavior that I'm asking for.
yeah, so Kim's going to be using the bridge there. The bridge is just a communication tool that her and Fintan both know, a shared communication tool. So it allows Kim to communicate with him and let him know that whatever he did at that exact moment was what she was looking for, and he will be rewarded soon with his highest choice of reinforcement, which in this case is food for Finn.
So you can see he's a little bit weary of having the second person here with the camera, that weird camera in his face. I'm going to be trying to reinforce him for doing tail movement to see if we can get his tail to pop through. This is just one of the behaviors that we're working on. We're also working on voluntary injections with him too.
So yeah, just to clarify again what Kim's looking for, Kim and Fintan have been working on this. She's going to bridge or blow her whistle when he's doing different movements with his tail. Now what Kim's exactly looking for is for him to move his tail and actually place it through the bottom of the bars there, the slats that you can see. Now she wants him to put his tail through that slat so she can actually hold on to that tail in the near future, and we could actually withdraw blood from that section of his tail. So right now they're trying to communicate with one another. He's trying to understand exactly what Kim wants from him, and she's waiting for that appropriate behavior so she can give him the signal that he's doing something correct.
So I'm trying to reinforce him when he's being calm. That's nice. And not when he's being aggressive towards the camera. Reinforce that. Good boy. And again, Fintan can leave the chute whenever he wants to. He's choosing to stay and yell at the camera.
Yeah, so both ends of that chute are open, as you can see. Now let's take a look at that weight as we're waiting for Finn. So if you can see it up there, he's a hefty 430 pounds.
Yeah, Fintan! He's been on a bit of a diet recently, so he's actually down, which is great. Right? You're doing a great job, bud. Okay, well, he doesn't seem keen. Generally, if we can get his tail to pop through, it happens within about the first 15 seconds or so. You can see he's a little bit amped up, so I'm just going to reinforce him for good, calm behavior, not yelling at the camera, and then he can end this session. One of the behaviors we had to teach Fintan was actually to leave the chute because he enjoys the chute so much. Good job. We're not yelling at the camera. It's okay. Cool. So I'll give them fast forward. Okay, yeah. Ready to go? Let's go. Good boy. Oh, Fintan. Great job. Okay. So we're actually going to send Fintan out with Makali now, and then they're going to go out on an exhibit, get their bones, and then we can answer questions while they snack away on that, as well as throw some meatballs to them too. Good job. You did good, bud. You did good. Again, this lion house is an amazing design. There's like trickle lock systems on everything, just to make sure that we're as safe as possible when we're oh, there you go. And you hear the cute little sound, so that's a very nice, friendly sound from Fintan, because we haven't heard many of those. Hi, sweet girl. Okay.
No way.
Oh, great. And he's very happy to see This is the Fintan that we all know and love. Not the camera. Okay. Ready, Finn? Let's go on outside. So Ashley should have been in and out of the exhibit already, so we're gonna shift these guys. So excessive. Oh. We'll shut this door. Actually, I need to grab the meatballs first. So if you guys frequent the Toronto Zoo and have come to an African lion talk, then you'll probably recognize this bowl. We give these guys meatballs most days of the week at our 1 o'clock lion talk. So we have been trying to keep up this routine throughout this kind of strange period of what's going on right now with the zoo being closed to the public. So we want to make sure that everything is normal, or is as normal as can be with these guys. So we're going to be throwing the lions out on an exhibit. The first lion to go out is going to be Lemon. She is our smallest lion. She's also our least dominant. So we want to make sure that she goes out on an exhibit first so she can get her bone first and then head off before these two hungry monkeys follow after her and don't try and steal her snacks. The next one who's going to run through is going to be Makali. Fingers crossed she just grabs her bone, but sometimes she grabs Fintan's too because she is a little starving Marvin. And she thinks she's very, very, very hungry and underweight, but she is not. She is very healthy. We've had her on a little bit of a diet since she had cubs back in 2015. Her metabolism went way down after those cubs were born, so we have to be very careful with the amount of food that she gets because she can easily pack on the pounds. Let's throw Lemon out first.
So like Kim was saying there, you'll see Lemon, she'll run right up that hill. We perfectly place the bones in the same location when they're going out on exhibit in order to make it pretty easy for Lemon to grab hers and get quickly away from the other lions that are, of course, a little bit more dominant than she is. Now Makali is faster and some might say a tiny bit smarter than Finn, so she will go up and grab her bone as well. Now, Finn, being the male lion, should be the most dominant in his pride. You can see that he's also quite a bit slower than the females. So that enables Makali, which could have happened there, to grab his bone. He's just standing there looking around. So I'll go on the... So they switched bones today. So we can go on this side so you guys can get a little bit of... a closer look at the lions. I just saw one of the questions, are you scared, camera lady? No, I'm not scared. I'm one of the keepers in the African savannah as well. I'm trying to stay back a little bit so you guys can get a great view of all the lions. But no, of course, Kim and I have been working here in the African savannah for a long time. So this is business as usual for us, working the lions. And like Kim has been saying, there's lots of different safety features that make sure we stay as safe as possible while working with these guys. You can see as Kim is feeding them, she's either going to throw them to the lions or use the tongs. So our hands are never that close to the lions as well. And as you can see Kim working with them, she's going to be the only keeper right now using her keys and actually shifting the lions. And that's just another safety feature we have here. So Kim can keep track of what doors and gates that she is opening.
Yes, absolutely.
So keep those questions rolling in. Kim's going to go up here and she can answer some questions for you soon.
I can also give you a little bit of a spiel that we usually do with our lion talks and try and cover some of the most common questions that we do get during our talks. So the first question we always get is, are these guys albino? Because they are white lions. And no, they aren't albino. They don't have albinism, they have something called leucism, and that's just a fancy term for saying that they are blondes. It's a recessive gene that has to be passed on from both mom and dad in order for the cubs to end up being white lions. So white lions are actually, they're the same as all the other African lions, the tawny lions. The only difference is this recessive gene that takes away coloration in the hair follicle. They still do have pigment in their nose, their eyes, the pads of their paws as well. They're just little blondies, which is really, really cool. Another very, very common question that we get with these guys is with feeding. So in a lion pride, generally the females will go out. They're the ones to do all of the hunting, bring back the food, and then dad gets to eat first. So here at the Toronto Zoo, we try and do the same sort of deal. Fintan will get his snacks first inside of the house, then Makali, then Lemon. We do separate them, however, though, if we were to put all of the food that we offer these guys out all together, then Makali and, well, probably Makali would eat all of it. She would leave some scraps for Finn, and then poor Lemon wouldn't get anything at all. So we do keep a very close eye on their weight, and we have a really good close relationship with our nutrition staff here at the zoo and our vet staff as well to make sure that these guys are lean and trim and can live for a very long and happy and healthy life as well. So they do get separated in the house that we were just in their own pens with their own diet, and then we set out bones and other enrichment items out on exhibit for them to enjoy as well. They're all not
visible right now.
Actually pretty common to what you would see at the zoo. Lions are epic hiders. They are also epic sleepers as well. African lions sleep anywhere from 19 to 22 hours a day. They are most active at dawn and dusk, so that's crepuscular. They can also be nocturnal, so they can be active at night as well when it is the coolest, and they can hunt without worrying about overheating and exerting way too much energy. So these guys actually really do enjoy these temperatures. That kind of brings me into another question we often get. How do our lions and how do our animals here in the African savannah handle our winters here? So these three came to the Toronto Zoo before they were even one. So they were very young. They've gotten quite used to our climate here in Toronto. They can, and all of our animals here at the zoo, or in the African savannah in particular, can create a little bit of a winter coat. Fintan definitely has a very thick coat right now. I know this because when we are cleaning, the amount of shedding that is happening is insane. I have dogs at home with long hair, and I thought that they shed a lot. Looking at Fintan with that massive mane, the tumbleweeds that come out of this guy is crazy. So they can develop a really, really thick winter coat if they need to. The exhibit is actually designed with heated pads as well. So that cave right there, the one that's underneath where Makali is eating her bone, is heated. Throughout the year, it sits at around 20 degrees Celsius. So it's nice and cozy and warm. On cooler days, sometimes you'll see a cat pile of them trying to stay warm with one another. And also on cold days, we give them access to the house. They don't have to stay out on exhibit if they don't want to. For the most part, they really, really do enjoy the snow and cooler temperatures though, so they love to run around and play this time of year. And our house is always warm. It's got heated yards as well, so you don't have to worry about these guys freezing. They've got a warm coat, and they really do love the temps and have the option to warm up if they want to as well.
So we've got a question here. The first one is from Reese. She wants to know the names of the lions and how old they are.
Awesome. So Reese, our lions are all turning 9 years old this year, so that's very exciting. And their names, who they are. So the one that's down by the window down there, that is Lemon. And she is the oldest of the three, actually. Her birthday is coming up in March, April, May. In May. Then Makali is the one who's kind of peeking over the top there. She's the middle child. And she's our biggest female, our most dominant female, and then Fintan, where you can just see his rear end and the top of his lovely mane. He is the youngest. He's born in October. And yeah, but they're all turning 9 this year. Any other questions?
You touched on it a little bit, but lots of people are asking about their diets. So how much they eat and different items that we give them.
Cool. So their diet changes quite a bit seasonally. So as the temperatures are starting to warm up, we can start actually decreasing the amount of meat that these guys need every day because they're not exerting as much energy to keep them warm. So Fintan, at the beginning of winter, he was very, very active, was loving the cooler temps, and he started losing weight on us. Nothing scary or significant, but we knew that we had to start bumping up his diet because of the activity level and the temperatures. So he was getting close to 9 kilograms of meat every day. Now that the temperatures are starting to warm back up, and these guys are spending maybe a little bit more time inside with rainy, wet weather, that sort of thing, and his weight went up and we need to bring it back down again for his summer cut. He's down to about 3 kilograms of meat. So it does change quite a bit. Every day they get some of this meat. So again, this is the ground meat that the zoo formulates here with our nutritionists. This meat is actually, a lot of people ask what it's made of, and it's actually horse meat. A lot of people are kind of weirded out by that. However, horse meat is one of the very best protein sources that you can offer, in particular a cat, especially the ones here at the zoo. It is very, very lean, so we're going to make sure that we can keep them nice and trim on this meat diet. And it's also pretty similar to what they would be eating in the wild. These guys would be taking out wildebeest and zebra, so it's a really, really close protein alternative that they can have here.
That's awesome. Lots of people wondering the lifespan of the lions and how you exactly tell these guys apart.
Great. Awesome. So lifespan, these guys potentially in zoos can get up to their late teens and even their early 20s, which is really, really cool. So these guys are all pretty young still. To tell them apart, Fintan has that great big mane around his face. Another question that's kind of often asked here is, like, what is the main purpose of that mane for male lions? Number one, it helps to attract females. So the bigger and the darker the mane, sort of the stronger and the more testosterone and the better the ability of that male lion that he's going to have to protect his pride. When you have a great big mane like that, if you get in a fight with another male who's going to be crossing through your territory or who's trying to take over your pride, if they're going to fight, having a great big mane around your face acts quite a bit like a shield. And so if the boys were to fight, getting a big mouthful of hair is way better than getting a jugular or something that's really important around your neck. So the male, Fintan, you can tell him apart because of that great big mane. The females, it's a little bit harder. If they are side by side, it is quite obvious because Lemon, her coloration is a little bit more yellowy. She's not quite as white as Makali is. She has shorter front legs as well, and her nose is the same color as the rest of her body, that same yellow color, whereas Makali has much longer front legs and is a lighter color, and the bridge of her nose it doesn't match the rest of her body. It's a little bit darker, it's a little shadowed, so that's, when you look at them face on, there's a big difference there too.
Awesome. And lots of questions about Finn's choice of cologne. How did we find out that he likes cologne, first off, and the Adidas cologne in particular?
That one's the good one.
Right?
That's gold. That's liquid gold with Fintan. So basically, every day we do, when we're doing our exhibit check while these guys are all having their snacks inside of the house and safely away from the exhibit, the keepers come in, we'll clean up, make sure that everything looks all right. These guys can be a little bit destructive, so we need to make sure that their exhibit is still in top form. And we do like to do scent enrichment around the exhibit. So we have so many. I should have shown you guys inside of the house. So many different smells, whether they're like floral or fruity smells, and then lots and lots of colognes. But one of the best enrichment items you can do in particular for male lions is scent enrichment, because they love to scent mark their territory. Like, this is mine. So when we walk around the exhibit, set out their bones, we'll also spray different smells around the exhibit that they will try and cover on top of. And it was just a kind of a trial and error. Finn really likes cinnamon. I know a lot of cats do like the smell of cinnamon. We've tried catnip, not so much, but in particular for Finn, colognes, really stinky colognes, and Adidas is like is number one. But yeah, one of my coworkers says apparently Calvin Klein in other zoos works very well, so we'll have to check that out too. But yeah, he will prefer the smell of that Adidas over getting meat snacks initially, so that's why we save it for really important training behaviors like emergency recalls.
Lots of people were just asking about their habitat. So their exhibit, we can just talk about this, exactly how much space they have.
Yeah, so it's actually a really big exhibit. People don't realize often when they come to the zoo, they just come to the front viewing area, but there's a whole other half of the exhibit on the other side of this sort of bridge area. They do tend to spend most of their time here because they can keep their eye on what's going on with the Lion Road area. The keepers are walking around there quite a bit, so they've always got an eye on their keepers. They also really do enjoy to go to the other side because our Eland boys, their exhibit is on the other side of the walkway here, so they like to keep an eye on them as well. Now, in the wild, white lions in particular come from the Timbavati region, just adjacent to the Kruger National Park. People believe that this white coloration actually came from this area because there are light-colored, sort of sandy riverbanks, and also during the dry season, the vegetation does bleach out quite a bit. So having a lighter coloration is actually very, very beneficial for camouflage and hiding from your prey.
Everyone just wants to see you feed those meatballs.
Yeah. We'll see if Finn wants to look up. A fun little thing that we've been doing since the zoo's been closed has been throwing meatballs against the glass. It's a zone that Lemon likes to actually hang out in quite a bit. If you guys do frequent the zoo, I'm sure you've run into Lemon pawing on the glass quite a bit. You'll see muddy paw prints there very often. Because that's Lemon's like play area. So I can try and check a couple meatballs there. We'll see if the sound of that gets these guys standing up, and then maybe if we get them going, you guys can look on the other side of the glass and see the lions like licking off the glass. That could be really fun. Okay, so we will see. Let's see. Hi, Matt.
Feed.
Immediately, she's like, meatball. We'll see. Those bones are really good. Hey, Lemon. Look at, they both look up. They're like, oh, no. Here comes Finn. He's done with his.
So as Kim is starting to throw those meatballs there, we'll let her throw the first one, and then I can take it down into the cave. Perfect. So we can go down into the cave, and I can answer the rest of the questions, and then I'll finish up the talk from there.
And I'll join you once these are all.
So we can see if you guys have any other questions for me as I'm walking down into the cave. So how many are there? We just have the 3 lions here at the Toronto Zoo. So just Finn, Mac, and Lemon. So if you guys visit the zoo and when we reopen, please do so. This is where you can go in. This is the area Kim was talking about. So the lions can actually come up over top of us here and access the second half of their exhibit. Lemon is gorgeous. She is. So another question I'm getting a lot is, are we expecting any cubs? No. Makali did have 4 cubs a few years back, and that will be the only cubs we have from these guys. What's the cave for? The cave is just an underpassing for the public, actually. So it's actually going under the lion exhibit. The lion exhibit is kind of cut in half, so it just gives us access to go from one section to the other. No, they are not siblings. That's another question I see popping up. No, they are not related, these guys. There's Lemon. How do you bathe them? Are they dangerous? So that's a question that we get sometimes. Now, in order for Kim and I to stay safe, we do work in protective contact with these lions at all times. Now, what that means for us here at the Toronto Zoo, awesome throw, Kim, is just that we stay between a barrier for us and them at all times, just in order to keep us safe. That's awesome. There's Finn. So you can see his beautiful mane up and close right there. Any other questions rolling in? So Finn is going to use that tongue. Now, if you do have a cat at a home, similar to domesticated cats, there we go. These guys have a very coarse tongue. It's going to allow Finn to lick all of the meat off of that window to keep it clean. Now, in the wild or here, when they were just eating their bones, they're going to actually use that coarse tongue to lick all of the meat straight off of the bone as well. That keeper has a great throw. She does.
Have we got questions about him getting his hair brushed?
About bathing, but I talked about that a little bit. There we go. Let's see if I can get the angle so you guys can see that adorable little tongue I was talking about.
People often think he gets his hair brushed by keepers, but no, this is a style all his own. Sometimes when it rains, it can look a little pathetic, but he just shakes his mane and it comes right back to life. And yeah, having that barbed tongue definitely helps with grooming.
So that's kind of it.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We absolutely love being able to share our animals with you guys, especially right now, but we hope you guys are all safe and happy and healthy at home, and thank you guys so much again for joining us, and we are really, really excited to see you guys come on back and join us here at the Toronto Zoo and hang out with all of our critters. Yeah. Say bye, Finn.